Good afternoon. It's not normal for the police chief to come and do roll call. We all know that. But I think today's kind of a special day, and I wanted to share with you the results of your hard work. As you well know, on October 27th, we did a very visible public roll call, including elements from the Neighborhood Task Force, District 3, District 5, District 7. We were responding to a 65% increase in shootings in the prior month. We were responding to what seemed to be an out-of-control violent crime problem with a large number of non-fatal shootings. We committed at that point to return those neighborhoods to the people who live in them. We committed to making a difference in the lives of the people in those communities by reducing violent crime. Now, we've worked hard, or more specifically, you've worked hard. Today, I just want to share you some of the data points that indicate just how successful you've been doing your work out there. The three districts working with you, the motorcycles, the bicycles, the horses, the foot patrols, the car patrols, what you've done is reduced aggravated assault committed with a firearm by 63% in the last 3 weeks compared to the 3 weeks before that. You reduced armed robbery committed with a firearm by 37%. You've reduced non-fatal shootings in our target area by 57%. We've also seen a drop overall in aggravated assaults of 40%. Now, Lord knows you've been busy. According to the data that you provided us, you've made 4,862 citizen contacts. You did 3,600 traffic stops. You did 4,800 field interviews of suspicious subjects. You went out there and you served warrants. You stopped suspicious people. You made arrests. You issued citations. But above all, you did it in a way that was experienced by the community as efforts made on their behalf. Citizen complaints didn't go up. In fact, we didn't get citizen complaints. What we got were accolades. What we got were people telling us how proud they were of you and how pleased they were at the results of your work. Now, I think that's something you should feel good about. And we're committed to continuing the effort. Now, as a quick aside, you can see behind me density maps. You probably recognize them because you've been looking at them every night with Lieutenant Scrignoli. But we've got a nice little before and after here. As we were deploying you, we were looking at historical data over the last several years about where shootings were. And if you can see the two ellipses here, one represents last year, 2010. Is the red one 2010 or the green one? Chris? The red one. Red one's 2010, and the green one is 2011. And you can see they're damn near the same place. Now, we know this is where you had to be. But the challenge is a little bit more complicated than that. That's still a big area. Now, we know we've been concentrating on that notion of the 3 10%. The 10% of locations that generate 60% of our crime, the 10% of offenders that generate 50% of our crime, the 10% of victims that generate 40% of our crime. How specific can we get? And our Intelligence Fusion Center was able to dial down to the block level of where there are the most aggravated assaults and non-fatal shootings. And you can see them here. You can see the densities all through the areas that you were targeting. So the idea wasn't to spread you thin all through that area, but on a given night to make sure a given neighborhood had 15 cops in it, because that given neighborhood had generated 15 shootings the previous month. That's the kind of specificity we had to get to. And what we had to count on was your professionalism, your discipline, the knowledge of these communities you've developed in the last several years, and the trust you've developed with these communities over the last several years. And let's face it, you've all been in these neighborhoods as part of the NTF for 4 years. You know people. They know you. And there's no substitute for your street knowledge and their trust in you when it comes to developing good anti-crime information. So what do we have? A lot less density. Whole big white spaces now between the dark spaces where there's, density of crime. And you've created those spaces. So, I know you've got a work and roll call coming up next, and I know you've got work to do tonight. We're going to continue the effort. Now, obviously, as it gets cooler out, we're not going to do a 7-day-a-week effort as we did to try to get control there. But we are going to randomly, periodically, and often have that exact same level of intervention in these neighborhoods. We're past the days of sweeps. where we sweep in, crime drops, you go back to work elsewhere, and crime goes back up again. Our goal is to sustain these neighborhoods. And the only way we can sustain those neighborhoods is by being a predictable and steady presence. And so we'll make sure that even in addition to your usual duties of being out there and around the ball, we are going to periodically ramp up, and they are going to feel you in an extra special way. So my congratulations to all of you. Congratulations to Captain Gallione for being so fortunate to have such an active command. Congratulations to Lieutenant Scrignoli for all his work with you. And I just want to say that I'm very proud of you, and you have a right to be proud of yourselves. So thank you.